Okay, folks. I wanted to make a video on this just because it's not all that fun um, of a task. It's rewarding, but it's not very fun. I don't have these two lights working. I don't have a switch for them. They're not hooked up. The reason being is when I cut the wall out, the switches were on the right side of the wall. There was three. There was one for this light here, one for the kitchen, and then one for these two lights. Well, I deliberately pulled up two of the wires, ran them over and dropped them down. And the reason is I knew about this two switch box here. This one goes to the utility room or the laundry room. And then this other switch that's not here went, I don't know where it went. It never worked as long as I lived here. There's a wire there, it's not hot, and you know, I checked to try to see where it was going, but I couldn't tell because there was so many wires. There's about 4 or 5 wires coming up through into the attic from this spot, and I just didn't know which one was which. So what I did was I cut a hole in the back side here, and I identified the wire in question and followed it up, and I can see that it's going through the same hole as the big black or the 6 gauge black aluminum ground wire for the hot water heater. So I'm going to go up there and look for that and see if I can identify where it may be going and maybe use that one. If not, I'm just going to drill another hole, an inch hole to the right side of that 6 gauge wire. It might be even like a 4 gauge aluminum wire, and then run some extra Romex wire down here into here. And I kind of measured it out, and I put a piece of tape on it so I know where to stop. And then I'm going to take the rest of it and come and hook up these two lights. Now, when I go in the attic, I'm going to be masked up. I'm going to put a Tyvek suit on just to prevent getting itchy from the installation. And then I've kind of tried to envision what I may need. So I'm bringing the drill, the wire, some clippers, screwdrivers, and you know, wire tester, maybe an electrical box in case it's not long enough. I can make a junction there and put a lid on it. I'm not going to be able to talk because of the mask, so I'm just going to stay strictly business. But you'll see what it's like. It's not a very large attic. It's doable to get through, but you know, you've got to kind of crawl and wiggle your way through there. So just to kind of show you what it takes to do some of this DIY stuff. All right, the phone storage got full, so I'll just pick up where I left off. You saw I drilled the hole, I dropped the wire, and then I moved over to try to hook that wire up. It was long enough, so as you can see, I got some slack. I'm gonna push that back up into the attic and try to adhere it to the center of the stud, so you know no one else comes behind and accidentally hits it. But then I dropped it in, and here it is. I've gone ahead and wired it up. Yeah, I've hooked up the hot, the neutral, and the ground just without a switch, and you can see that light's coming on. That hanging out is a different story. I was dealing with this before, but the hole kind of wore out, so it's bigger than the can, and I'm kind of PO'd because that means drywall, and I was really hoping I was done with drywall. But I may have to do that, get that can back up in there. Maybe I'll just go get 2 different lights, so I don't have to really do that anymore. No bulb in here, but essentially I came down here is where the camera cut out. I was taking this apart because it had the wire that went that way that wasn't hooked up to anything because it dropped down in that wall. And I unhooked that, raveled it up, and that's it right there. I took it out of the attic. It was just sitting up there. So that just has a wire going from there to that can light, and then to that wire that I dropped in here. So now the good news is I'm gonna do this utility room or this laundry room. I'm gonna clean it up and put a floor in there, some baseboards, and just get it kind of looking like the rest of the house. But now I can patch that, drywall it, sand it, and then paint it. And then now I can put a switch in here, 2 switches, close it up, put the cover on. That's done. But I gotta deal with that. So anyway, there you have it. And please like and subscribe. It's a lot of work, as you can see. I'm carrying the phone, I'm editing the pitch to video, I'm carrying the tools in the bag. I'm only, you know, only 86, 89 subscribers at this point. I'm trying to make some money here, guys. Even if you don't watch the videos, like and subscribe. I don't post that much. You're not gonna get inundated.